I'm going to create a little raspberry dessert. It's all-season dessert because you can find a raspberry everywhere and they always look good. That's something very important. It will be composed with, of course, the crème brûlée base. That's going to be the main component of the dessert. It will be topped with the raspberry sauce that I'm going to make. It's going to be sugar added to the raspberry sauce, a little bit of cornstarch diluted with water. We're going to cook that down, and that's going to make us that nice sauce. Then we're going to infuse the raspberry, so I'm going to prepare a syrup with lemon, anise, and vanilla. So combine all of these ingredients together in that pot and make the syrup with the sugar and the water. Simple syrup, everybody knows that. Then I'm going to go onto the base, which you will see it's very easy. We're just going to bring it to boil and pour it in our little containers. So we are bringing that puree, raspberry puree, to boil. I put the sugar first, which will dissolve in the raspberry puree. And you can add the cornstarch with the water. It's okay to put it at the beginning because the cornstarch will cook together with the sauce. You don't have to wait until it's boiling. And once it's boiling, just put it in a container that will go in the cooler. We get few bubbles, and that's fine. That's it. So for the next step, we are going to prepare the syrup. So we put the sugar, water. This is a simple syrup. We open the vanilla bean and scrape it in the syrup. We put the anise right away, so it's going to start infusing, and a lemon zest. As the syrup will cook, all the flavors going to combine, and that's what's going to infuse the raspberry and give that great flavor. So this is boiling. What you want to do is you will want to cover the raspberry with that syrup. It's going to have to be hot. Just like this. Just push down the raspberry a little bit, make sure they're all coated with the sugar. All right, so the next step will be the base crème brûlée, which we're just gonna have to boil in that pot. Extremely simple. Nothing complicated about that. Then what I want to do, I want to flavor that base. You can use it as it is, or you can always flavor it with whatever you want. In this case, I will flavor it with just a scraped vanilla bean. I already used vanilla bean in my syrup for the raspberry, so that's a flavor that I will carry on in my dessert. So all the little beans will spread out in the mix, and we are going to have these little vanilla bean specked inside of the recipe. This is going to bring a little plus, just like if it was a traditional crème brûlée. We are developing the aromas in the curd. The vanilla bean is great. I love it. So basically, the only thing that needs to be done with that recipe is bring it to boil and then pour it in the container that you will be serving it in. So right now I'm using an induction stove, which is very convenient because for small quantity it's very quick. But in your kitchen, of course, we can use a steam kettle. You know, that's going to be much easier, and it's going to be quicker, and you will be able to do a lot at a time. So we bring it to boil properly, so all the components of that recipe will work together and combine. So in this case, the dessert will be small. That's a dessert that we can be using for a buffet, for example. That's going to be nice. You can make different sizes. You can make them big or small. I'm using that sauce gun to fill them up, so it's going to be much more precise. And I will basically go just halfway, because that's not the only thing I will put. This is going to go in the cooler, so it's going to have time to set. So I will now whip some cream, some heavy cream, and we are going to whip it so it becomes stiff. I put a little bit sugar. It's going to be around roughly 20%. You can scale it out, it's much better. So it's going to take a few minutes to whip, and from there I will be able to use it in the dessert that we are doing right now. It will be marbled with some of the raspberry sauce that we did earlier. So this is whipped perfectly. And I'm going to keep it in the cooler. So now this is set. I'm going to take my two other ingredients. And that raspberry sauce, that's very nice now. I'm going to put some on top of that crème brûlée. So it's not going to be a crème brûlée in a sense that it's not brûlée, but we are using that crème brûlée base in the composition of the dessert. Make sure it goes all the way. What's nice about that is that when you have clear containers like that, you can see through and see all the different layers of the dessert. These raspberries have been partially cooked with the hot syrup that we put. And basically, I'm going to place them in the dessert. So fresh raspberry uncooked could be nice as well. But this is nice because you have a raspberry that's going to have a little bit of a different flavor. So the good thing about that recipe is that, as you can see, your raspberries are also shiny. So that makes them look like they've been treated differently than a fresh raspberry. So the last step on that dessert, we are going to put a kernel of whipped cream and a little garnish to emphasize the look of it. So to marble the cream, I just take a little bit of whipped cream in a bowl. I'm going to take a little bit of that raspberry sauce that I will drizzle on top of it. Lightly toast that, just a little bit. This is important that you have a very hot water because you want that spoon to be extremely hot. And you are going to create this nice little scoop of whipped cream. Just like that. So that makes a nice little touch. And this will create a nice little, very elegant dessert. And the last thing I want to do, I want to put that really nice big chocolate decor. Et voilà.